Guys, day 2 of Green Bay Packers training camp is officially here. So, of course, we have more highlights from today's practice to react to and break down. We are finally getting things rolling with the second day of practice today. The Packers also have a practice tomorrow, then a day off on Saturday, then back at it on Sunday. Also, in this video, I will be including some 11v11 highlights I got my hands on from the early portion of today's practice. So, definitely stay till the end of the video for that. There's definitely some interesting clips. Also, if you guys could do me a favor, if you happen to be a new viewer and you're just stopping by for the first time, consider going down and hitting that subscribe button. It supports the channel a ton. Plus, you'll stay in the loop with everything Green Bay Packers throughout the entirety of training camp, such as highlight videos and exclusive 11v11 footage you won't find anywhere else. So go and click the subscribe button and also turn on post notifications. Thank you guys so much. All right, so without further ado, let's dive right into it and bringing the first clip on the screen. It's Jordan Love going through the passing drill here, like we saw yesterday, firing a ball across the left side, and again, gets right in the net there with that pass. We also see Malik Willis here. I saw an interesting thing this morning after Justin Fields went down with an apparent lower leg injury. Now, it doesn't seem to be that serious, but I saw a couple people saying trade Malik Willis to the Jets. What do you think Malik Willis would actually command in an open trade like that? Let me know down in the comments below. I think obviously having a backup quarterback like Malik Willis is extremely valuable for the Green Bay Packers. We saw how valuable it was last year. But what would make you go, yes, I have to accept that? If the Jets or another team came calling, what draft pick would have to be offered, in your opinion, for you to not be able to deny the deal? Here's a clip of some players going through a punt return drill. And more importantly, you see the first player going through that drill, at least in this clip, was McCole Hardman, who's shown up throughout this entire offseason and has been valuable for not only the offense but special teams. And right now his course to the roster is as wide receiver number 6 and kick return and punt return 1. We also saw Jacobs, Jaden Reed. Now we see Marshawn Lloyd, who's had an impressive start to camp. Maybe Lloyd ends up being a returner. I know he's done some kick returning in the past. Then we also see Sam Brown Jr. here going through this drill. And I believe 82 is new wide receiver Will Shepard, formerly of the Colorado Buffaloes, who the Packers signed last week, also going through this punt return drill. But right now, I think it's McCole Hardman. He's going to be our punt return number 1, which he should be, over Nixon and Reed. They should not be back there at punt return. And maybe Hardman and Nixon will switch off on and off for at least kick return. Here's a clip of Packers tight end number 1, Tucker Kraft, catching a crossing route. And you also see Luke Musgrave on the left side of the screen there. Man, how can you not love Tucker Kraft? I'm so excited for 2025 for Tucker Kraft. You know, going into 2024, we weren't really sure that, who was going to be tight end number 1. And by far, at the end of the year, it was Tucker Kraft. And now he's, in my opinion, a top 7 tight end. And yesterday, Tucker Kraft in the locker room said, quote, "I believe Jordan is the guy that's going to take us to a Super Bowl." That's it. How can you not love the guy? Here's a clip of freshly extended Zach Tom, our new $88 million right tackle. So happy the Packers got this deal done. An absolute steal, in my opinion, for Zach Tom, coming in at $22 million annually. In my opinion, he's a top 3 right tackle in the NFL. And the fact that we got him for a 4-year extension, now he's tied to the Packers for the next 5 years. For that low amount of money. I know it's a lot of money, but in 2 years, we're going to be looking at it and going, that's a low amount of money for the type of player we're getting in Zach Tom. Here's a clip of Bo Melton working through some defensive back drills next to, I believe, Isaiah Dunn there on the right. And guys, I said it yesterday, and I'll say it again. Bo Melton making the official switch to cornerback makes a lot of sense. And I believe he makes the roster at cornerback. Let me know down in the comments below. Do you actually believe Bo Melton makes the roster as a cornerback? Right now, there's really 2 spots open for the back end depth of that cornerback room. Maybe 3, but mainly 2. Between Bo Melton, Kalen King, Micah Robinson, Kamal Haddon. And I think he could win out one of those spots. Bo Melton has been a big topic this entire offseason. First cross-training at cornerback. You can see him again in another cornerback drill here. And his footwork just looks very fluid. It looks very quick. It looks seamless for a guy that played wide receiver basically his entire life to just switch to cornerback and look the part is very, very impressive and speaks to his athleticism. Here's a clip of new Packers cornerback Nate Hobbs, who they signed this offseason, running through defensive back drill with Jeff Hafley in the background. looking very, very closely at Nate Hobbs. He's going to play both outside and in the nickel for the Green Bay Packers. Matt LaFleur talked about that a little bit this morning, saying, he's a competitor. He's a guy that has a skill set that can do both. He can play outside, he can play inside, even though he mainly played nickel in Las Vegas. The Packers fully believe he can do both, and that's exactly what he's going to do for this defense. Really like the addition of Nate Hobbs. Here we have some linebackers going through an engage blocking drill here. We see Tyron Hopper going through it here. Excited to see what year 2 has in store for Tyron Hopper. Really a kind of a redshirt season in year 1. Only saw some snaps in garbage time in a couple games here or there. I'm excited for year 2 to see if he gets more defensive snaps, maybe turns more into a pure special teams player. Right now, it seems like Isaiah Simmons is above him, but still excited for year 2 for Hopper. All right, guys, so now let's go over all the 11v11 footage I have from today's practice. Massive shout out to Kellen for getting me these clips. So let's dive right into it. On this first clip, it's going to be a deep post route to Jaden Reed over the middle. Obviously, at the end of this catch, Xavier McKinney's going to let up. I think in a real game sense, McKinney might have been able to knock this ball out, but we start with some play action and a fire with a ball right across the middle to Jaden Reed. You guys tell me what you think. I think Xavier McKinney would have flew up to this in a real game sense, probably knocked that thing loose, maybe even got an interception like we saw yesterday, but at least put a really nice hit on Jaden Reed. But of course, he's not going to do that in practice. Nonetheless, a nice play by the offense. Here on this play, we have a really nice hole shot throw from Jordan Love to McCole Hardman. Again, Hardman getting plenty of opportunity with the first team. Love checks into something here. The Packers are in a cover 2. We have Evan Williams bailing out to that cover 2 spot, and Jordan Love just puts an absolute dime in that hole shot right in between Nate Hobbs and Evan Williams, exactly where you'd want to throw against a cover 2, and puts it to where only McCole Hardman can get it. Evan Williams just misses that interception by a slight bit there, and McCole Hardman able to also extend the play after the catch and get upfield, man. I've been very, very impressed with McCole Hardman and what he's been able to do for the Packers during OTA's minicamp and now training camp. And I said he would have to have a great training camp in order to make this roster. Well, he has so far. Let's wait for the pads to come on. But he has showcased a lot and, just really adds a lot of depth to this wide receiver room with the Packers already drafting 2 other receivers in this past draft. Here's a nice play and pass breakup by Javon Bullard, who we have in the nickel down low. So the 2 safeties, I believe, are X and Evan Williams. We have McDuffie, Cooper at linebacker, and looks like the Packers kind of going into a press man look here. Javon Bullard on the left side is going to track Tucker Kraft coming on this cross route. Something that Javon Bullard struggled with last year was man-to-man coverage across the middle of the field. Really nice break on the football. Maybe should have even been an interception, but I love seeing this from Javon Bullard. He's getting into year 2, really able to hone in on what he's doing for this defense. Dropping down to the nickel when they need him to, maybe playing some safety here and there like he did yesterday. Really like this rep from Javon Bullard, covering up Tucker Kraft there and getting the pass break up here. But year 2 is going to be huge for Javon Bullard, especially for not only him, but this defense, because they're going to be moving him around all over the place. They did so as a rookie, which is impressive that he was even able to handle that in the way that he did. And just a really nice rep here by year 2 for Javon Bullard. Here's a quick clip of Marshawn Lloyd getting a rep with the ones. It's going to be a toss to the left side. We also see here's Javon Bullard already back at safety. So it was just a nickel. Now he's back at safety. Carrington Valentine's on the field. Malik Heath getting some snaps with the ones. And Jordan Love's going to do a quick toss left to Marshawn Lloyd. And you can see that one cut ability, right? Find the hole and get upfield. Would have been tackled for a short gain there, but nice to see Marshawn Lloyd getting his opportunities. Another player that really had a red shirt year in year 1 and is going to have plenty of opportunity to potentially become running back number 2. And he's shown, his potential in the first 2 days of camp. On this play, it's going to be a simple slant route to Romeo Doubs right next to Jaden Reed here. But more importantly, I want to point out that the Packers, still utilizing Jaden Reed in some of this backfield motion, right? This kind of, orbit motion return there. Jaden Reed to kind of pull the linebacker out to the outside. Just a quick slant to Romeo Doubs, which is definitely his forte. Seemed like every time the Packers needed a quick slant last year, they went Romeo Doubs' way, especially in that Houston Texans game. But more importantly, I just wanted to kind of show you guys that, hey, they are still using Jaden Reed for some of this backfield motion stuff, maybe just to get things started. Then they're going to slowly implement guys like Savon Williams and McCall Hardman to learn that role as well. Here on this play, we're going to have a physical battle between Tucker Kraft in the slot here and Edgerrin Cooper in man-to-man coverage, both hand fighting all the way through, and Tucker Kraft with the drop. Got to come down with that one, but I love seeing the physicality from both of these players. Both players that just give it their all every single play. And I love seeing Tucker Kraft, hand fighting with Cooper, but also Cooper able to hang in there with Tucker Kraft and remain physical at the top of the route. I mean, it's just so fun to watch both these guys go to battle against each other. Tucker Kraft has to come down with that one. That's a great throw by Jordan Love to where only his player can get it. Got to come down with that one. Here on this play, we're going to have a very cool concept where Jordan Love does a fake toss out of shotgun to the right, then comes back across the middle to find Tay Wicks pretty much wide open. The Packers are going to rotate into cover 3 here. Zane Anderson practicing with the ones here. Got a fake toss and then across the middle to Tay Wicks. We also see Keyshawn Nixon doing a good job at matching this, right? The Packers rotate into cover 3 here. Nixon's responsibility is that outside third, but the moment he sees Wicks, the outside receiver, cut towards the middle, he at least tries to track it down. Just a really nice concept and play by the offense here. I love running this fake toss out of shotgun. You can see what it's going to do to the linebackers here. Right away, it shifts everyone to that side, and then you have Wicks going right over top those linebackers for a big gain. Here's going to be another completion to Tay Wicks, but more importantly, we have Matthew Golden on the field with the ones, and they're going to run some, jet motion here with Golden, something that could definitely be brought out in the season with his speed. It's going to be a bootleg right, and Love's going to find Wicks over across the middle, right in the middle of that zone there for a nice little game. But again, nice to see Golden running some of that jet motion there to a wheel, to a deep stop, but he finds Wicks across the middle for a good gain. Here in this play, we're going to have a decent gain from Packers rookie Matthew Golden. It's going to be a little bit of a broken play, an extended play by Jordan Love, managing the pocket very well. First, we have Musgrave in motion. Love getting pressured, great protection, firing across the middle in between 2 defenders to Matthew Golden, who then gets upfield. And Matthew Golden in open space is a scary, scary thing, right? So we have Matthew Golden on the outside running a return route against Bo Melton, and honestly, that's a great rep by Bo Melton. We're talking a guy who just switched to the cornerback position, and he's covering a first-round wide receiver, the fastest receiver in the draft, running a return route, which is hard to cover man-on-man, and Melton does a great job. Golden does a even better job at floating upfield and creating that open zone for his quarterback when a play is broken, right? If he just stays flat, he runs right into McDuffie. He realizes that, and he floats upfield. You'd like to see McDuffie kind of read the eyes of Jordan Love a little bit more there, but that's a great rep by Melton and an even better rep by Matthew Golden to know where to go. Just find the open space, make a play for your quarterback, and then get upfield. Then he's off to the races. Maybe he makes a move, breaks a tackle to Evan Williams, and if that happens, he's gone for a big touchdown. Maybe gets by that defender as well. He has tremendous speed. Really like that rep there from Golden. Here on this final play, it's going to be a motion from this stack right here. We see Dobbs, Golden, and Wicks. Love seeing Golden also with the first team here. Wicks is going to motion to the left and do a speed out, and Nate Hobbs is going to react on this very, very well. We see Nate Hobbs shifting out, and he reads this speed out very well and gets ahead of that and gets a really nice pass break up right near the sideline. Love seeing the reaction time and speed from Nate Hobbs here off of this motion. Wicks is excellent route runner, so to be able to really see this through and attack the football to the outside and get a nice pass break up on a decent throw by Jordan Love. He's putting it out there. Hobbs just undercuts that thing and gets a great pass break up. Love to see. So those are all the highlights I have from day 2 of Green Bay Packers training camp. Again, really appreciate you guys coming by to the video. If you could leave a like down below, it supports the channel a ton. Wanted to include the 11v11s all in one video today, just as I got them earlier than usual. So wanted to do that for you guys so you can see the warm-up clips as well as some 11v11 footage. Kind of a light day of practice. We're still obviously waiting for the full pads to come on, where we start to see 1v1s. That's where the fun will be for sure for those clips, as well as the offensive and defensive line battles. Hard to really, assess that without the pads, or at least the full pads on. But again, thank you so much for coming by to the channel. Really appreciate you guys for stopping by. I'll catch you on the next one, and as always, go Pack Go.